It's disgusting, but this is what we have to fight against. And we always have to stand strong against this type of stuff. And Sam is standing strong by being successful and getting his word out there. And it's important for him to get his word out there, because at the end of the day, these people will change everything around. That's what they're all about. They're like a little, you know, like little magicians. Now you see it, now you don't. So look, we gotta keep on fighting the good fight. And that starts with people like Sam going around doing what he's doing, speaking to different organizations, and yes, eventually run for office.
Yes.
Now, I don't know, I guess you can't vote for yourself because they, what, you
no, in New York.
Good. So you get, at least get one vote. But what I'm saying is they look into that once you get everything established.
I'm just glad Sam's got himself a day job that leaves
Yes.
his evenings open.
Yes.
Before, you had this damn job at the Home Depot working evenings, he couldn't speak.
Oh,
He couldn't
that's
show
what
up at events.
Yeah,
He had
right.
to say, nope, I can't show up, I have to work my little job.
Something, just to remind everybody, Sammy reminded us, even on a local level, state, federal, I mean, not only federal, is that they have to take these seats back, even in elections, which they think, like what you're doing, city councils or whatever, because it's so entrenched with this good old boy network. It's not only with the Dems, with Republicans.
It is.
Too. And you've got, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's got to happen from the grassroots.
Right.
Aside from just federal, state, and local.
Yeah.
I gotta agree with this one as well. This was one other thing. It's not only the legislative branch. It's not only under the legislative branch. We also had to take back the judicial branch.
Absolutely.
Any other questions for Sam?
How did you keep yourself sane?
I don't know that I did, but I tried my best. I mean, just so you know what they put us through. I mean, you're talking about, solitary confinement for extended periods of time, which is, classified by the UN as torture, and it is. It's just being in a bathroom alone for weeks and having your food slid underneath the door.
Question also regarding this.
Yes.
From what you mentioned, you said you went in there 15 minutes.
Right.
Doing selfie.
Right.
Were you like the low-hanging fruit, somebody that they could get a charge on because maybe they knew you had a legal firearm?
No.
Because I know of other people who were in there hell of a lot longer.
Yeah.
And they went out.
Well, I had a business before this
Right.
that was online, so because I had a following online, that was why they, like,
You
if you
had
remember
a bigger social footprint.
Right, so Matthew Graves, the, whatever his title is, he said, the people we want to charge first are people with a social media following. So they went after those people first.
Right.
I happen to be one of them. Yeah, just low hanging fruit.
Because there's a lot of folks, we all have seen them, older people that have stayed within the ropes, grandparents. Hey, look, we're over here. Like, I'm sure if people recognize them. Oh, my neighbor down the street, I recognize this woman, Jane Doe, whoever it was. So they might have gotten.
Thank God, yeah. Or it might have been that they were close to a federal asset, because my personal opinion is that they were, we still don't know how many feds were there, and that's one of the most frustrating things, because the legal difference between a pardon and an exoneration is that a pardon is basically saying, you committed a crime, but I forgive you. An exoneration is, we were wrong to ever charge you because you didn't commit a crime. And none of the people that walked in committed a crime because they were basically led there by law enforcement. I mean, it's entrapment. So I'm wondering when we're gonna see the fruits of our voting and get some representation.
One thing I could remind everybody here today, I'm sure you guys have done it like I've done it. Every time I go to a social occasion, religious occasion, I said a few weeks ago at an event I was at, look, the J6 thing was perfect, they didn't do anything wrong. And you say your side of the story, no matter how much they shut you down. It's got to be done with from individual to individual, talking about what most of these folks did. Look, the whole thing is the optics, in my opinion. When I saw it unfolding live, I was at work, I was looking online. The optics were terrible because you still have the old media, whatever, that did show people getting assaulted. Somebody had cardiac arrest after the fact. They succumbed to that. So the optics did look terrible. I have to admit that. At the time, I didn't like what had happened.
And then you had weak Republicans that didn't know the full story, and then fed into the narrative of the left. And they were like, oh, it's so bad. But where were they during the summer of love of 2020 when 574 riots were
No,
happening?
I was outraged in
Right?
May.
I mean, what I'm saying is that they jump to conclusions too quickly, and they don't know the full story. And we know the full story now. We see what's going on. We see the video evidence and everything with the Charmin guy with the thing in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, he's the leader of it. And then there's video that comes out, the two police officers walking to different rooms. You want to go here next? Wow, what a threat. Give me a break.
So what-
None, we have questions in the back.
And I just want to know, when you were in solitary confinement, how did you get through the day?
How do you get through
You gotta go to, just work out, pray, you know, it's pretty rough, man, I don't know.
Do you have flashbacks from it every day?
I just try to just move forward and just not worry about it, but, it's not just that, it's just throughout prison, you see a lot of stuff. I mean, again, it depends which facility you were at. Some people, they go directly to an FCI in the feds or a camp or something like that. It's pretty chill and relaxed. If you're going to upstate New York prison system, it's not relaxed. It's like militant, a lot of police brutality, a lot of inmates, brutalizing each other in the feds. It's just, I've been like jumped, I've had fights, I've seen a ton of violence almost on a daily basis in many places. And so you come out here and everybody's a nice, lovely person, and you're not looking at that same crowd, and it's a little weird, but it's fine. People go through it all the time. Yeah.
What are you currently doing now? You're working?
Yeah. So I don't want to talk about my exact job because
don't say where you work.
I'm not talking. Yeah, because
Just say what you do.
Please, no, because the left still wants.
Of course they do.
They're trying to get me. Rest assured, since I've been out, they've tried to get me fired. They've tried to get me kicked out of where I'm paroled out to, and every day.
Yeah, don't mention where you work, but
please.
what you do.
Yeah. So I'm an electrician by trade. And I have I actually have my own handyman business where I do painting, drywalling. I do all kinds of stuff.
If anyone needs anything,
I don't feel obligated. I'm super busy, but yes.
reach
if
out
you
to
do
me and
have
I'll
any-
reach out to him. and-
Absolutely.
Did I also
yes.
hear,
This place could use another.
if I'm mistaken, yeah, make a note of that, Chief. Did you do paralegal?
Yes, I became a paralegal in prison as well. I'm a certified paralegal. That was how I got 6 months off my sentence. I did 57 credits of college. I helped inmates. I worked in the law library. I worked as a teacher's assistant. I learned the trades, painting, electrical, drywall, just as much as I could to, take advantage of the time while I was in there. Before January 6th and throughout prison, and now I was always like a productive, normal person. And,
So anyone needs anything, please.
yeah, sure.
I even asked this question, I said, why are we not funding these type of programs that need in prison, that can help out in prison, that would help get these people out of the prison and actually
Right.
into the workforce?
I would love to talk more about that to somebody that would listen, because having been in prison for 4 years and meeting thousands of people, I have a lot of thoughts about prison and just how ultimately at the end of the day, it's like all these other giant bureaucracies that Elon Musk is looking at through Doge. It's really at the end of the day a giant waste of taxpayer money. Not forgiving the crime, of course, but ultimately just recognizing that there's a lot of money to be made through prison, from the judges, the lawyers, the cops, the people that are selling the commissary, the packages. It's a lot of money. So there's other ways that you can get people to, like for instance, somebody steals a woman's purse. The woman's not getting that money back for the purse or for therapy. They're just sending that guy to prison for 10 years. She gets nothing. She gets the satisfaction of knowing that he's in jail. But wouldn't it be better if she got paid, if he was maybe forced to work and repay her for all the damages.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion, is that it would be better to take that guy and be like, no, you're gonna pay for that woman's purse, you're gonna pay for her therapy, and maybe you pay punitive damages to her for
Almost like a
No,
punishment
but
for
Goldman
crime.
sued,
Why not?
Goldman sued OJ.
Why not? I mean,
No,
but instead, the taxpayers foot the bill and put this guy in jail, where he's sitting and eating and watching TV and being a criminal inside. And it's like, it's BS.
In general, I don't know if anybody knows this, I just happen to know, just a quick mention of prison. And by the way, central booking is nothing compared to prison, I'm just saying. People come in and out, they're there maybe, you know, like, they're supposed to be there 24 hours, but in reality, they keep you up to 72 hours. And I know from a lawyer and a friend that basically, you know, during COVID, they had them in the horrible conditions of people there. It's
Yeah.
like a big class action lawsuit. City's been dragging their heels, big surprise.
Yeah.
And then supposedly, the big part, besides the payout for these people who actually went there that were sick and dirty conditions, no
Yeah,
mask, no
bad
nothing, no
conditions.
sanitary, while they were screaming outside, God forbid you had your mask, you got to stand 6 feet apart.
Right.
They were all crammed together without any mask and no toilet paper from so. But anyway,
Yeah.
so they're supposed to like actually fix some of those
They're
conditions
not gonna fix
there.
it, no,
But they
just
have, but they're being forced by
Yeah,
the lawsuit.
they're lying.
supposedly.
They're not going to
Yeah.
fix any of it. What they do
Probably
is,
true, yeah.
what they do is they have. It's just like everything else, probably. I'd imagine. When somebody important is coming, the cops will walk around and say, "Hey, if you don't clean up this dorm, we're going to beat you to death." So,
Like in LA,
and
when
then
they
they clean it up,
Chinese.
and then they walk in, and they're like, "Oh, it looks great," and then they go right back to the way it was right before.
Sounds like Shawshank.
I mean, it's based on a true story.
Whatever became of Ray Epps? Because we all saw him pointing and telling
He's
people
one of
to
the
go
most
into the
famous.
Capitol.
Feels
What is
insurrection-y to me.
Was he locked up? No. He didn't get, I would love
I don't
to
think
know
he did take it.
what became of Ray Epps.
I don't know.
He got a free pass.
Became of Ray Epps.
Yeah, he definitely got some kind of
There's
free
him and
pass.
many, many
He was
others.
on TV pointing
There's
everybody.
many others you'll never even know about.
Yeah, but he sticks out in particular.
And there were a lot of people like that stuck out that
Arizona.
day. It's like an archetype of the type of person we're talking
I don't
about.
remember.
The guy leading the charge, telling people to go into the Capitol, telling people, provoking people, you know, maybe, you know, passing out, whatever it was. They wanted to get this riot going.
Yeah.
And they had agent provocateurs in the crowd, in which I just keep saying over and over and over again, why do we not have these names? I think there was Judicial Watch. Watch is the name of the
what's
Tom
his name?
Fitton. He filed a FOIA request,
Yes.
Pam Body's Department of Justice, to get all this information, and they're fighting it.
Somebody put the number of 3,000 FBI agents were there assigned to that detail on January 6th.
Yeah, I'd like to know what they were doing. Shouldn't
I
we be
know
entitled to know what
Tucker
they're doing?
Carlson's talking about it right there.
Yes.
I even asked them, I even asked them, did Nancy Pelosi got upset
Only-
because
only a few of them
they found her secret
authorized.
wine stash?
That is true. They came out.
And they got our ice cream.
On videotape, breaking the windows.
Do you think that Biden's pardons of Cheney and Schiff and that whole J6 committee, that to me, I call it the J6 Trump committee, that's what I call it. His pardons really shouldn't be holding water because he signed it with an auto pen and he's not all there.
How do you do preemptive pardon if someone's not charged with anything
And
yet?
that's just for federal charges.
Because all of them have to go down. You know that,
It's
every
just-
one of them has to
you
go
have-
down.
You have the
Yeah,
feds.
little Dick Cheney.
No, what's her name?
Liz Cheney.
Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
Liz Cheney.
Not gonna happen.
So you have the feds, and then you have the state side. Nothing is, like in my situation, I have federal charges and state charges. Just because he signed it on the federal side, which is the only branch of the judiciary that he directly controls through a pardon, it does not mean that a local district attorney or a state level district attorney couldn't file charges on the Bidens or Hillary Clinton. It's just through a lack of courage that they're doing this. They have no problem going after any of you here for low-level drug offense or firearm offense or dispute. They'll kick in your door for that, but for some reason they don't file these charges. And again, it's something that we should be asking about. We elect these people, we are electing you to file charges on Liz Cheney. Do it. His pardon doesn't protect them on a state level.
President Trump is setting the stage for a big states' rights versus federal rights with the Kathy Hochul with her cameras. That might go all the way to the Supreme Court.
Nice.
Also, with the, the Alvin Bragg. Alvin Bragg is the guy responsible for you having these state charges.
Yep.
Now, Trump pardoned everybody at the federal level, but you still have state charges you cannot erase.
It's gonna be a legal fight because
So
the
we're shaping up
stems
for a
from.
real
But if you get a new
fight that might go
governor
to the
next
Supreme
year,
Court.
it's a
Oh,
possibility.
if you-
Praying for that.
Yeah,
And I
if,
think,
God willing,
You know,
if
the
that
top of the
happens.
chain now, right?
Yes.
Hopefully.
Stefano.
But if people can
I'm
do,
praying for this.
but if people
Be
do
nice.
their part, you gotta work for that one.
Any other questions from the audience?
Just feel, I mean, just a curiosity, I mean, so I know you probably have some Trump, but like, so like when, because I know a friend that even went through, when you see cops going hot on the scene with sirens and everything, or they walk, do you get nervous at all? Or?
No,
That's
that's
Kinda like
I lived around it for 4 years, so that what's weird to me is being around just nice people.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I know
actually
how
more of
hard
an
it is,
adjustment.
right.
The chef is deadly also.
Well, just remember, you have friends in us.
You don't want to hurt us.
And you have friends in us.
People see him
and
walking
we'll
down the
be-
street, they think he's a member of service.
We'll be a part of your support system, because at the end of the day, we have to stick together, because what they're doing to us is disgusting. The left are
Look, there's plenty of
communists.
cops also got in
We
trouble.
gotta stop that.
And globalists.
I gotta lay this out,
Yeah.
just to let you know. If, this is very hard around here to fight back at this, but it is important, yes, and I agree with you, we have to stick together. But if we're going to fight against a political machine, this takes a lot of power, strength, effort, but also when it comes to the party's problem, it's we the people, we have to fight back for control of the party,
Right.
so we can challenge them. If able to get control of its committees and then you'd be able to elect their candidates who are willing to fight for their own constituents.
Committeeman
So-
process.
That's how we get them elected, and that's how they fight, and that's how we get more candidates involved and more encourage people to run.
Run as district leaders, so you have a vote on the executive committee of whatever borough you live in. And that way, you're the ones screening the candidates and picking the right ones to be supported by that party. Because if you just one vote amongst many, see, a lot of people are tied into with the, not saying everyone does it, but a lot of people are tied in with the Board of Elections. Meaning, they work at the Board of Elections, if the county chairman says so, they have to go along with it. Not saying everyone does, not everyone does, but some do. Enough to make a difference on these types of executive board votes. That's why you see when you go voting, why the hell is there Democrat judges running on the Republican line? Well, I'm part of that process. I'm behind the scenes myself as a district leader. Now, I always vote for never vote for the Democrat. I always vote against it. But I'm always like the one or two voices screaming, I'm always in there.
When they're running on all lines, you just
They
abstain.
just, whatever, they come, because I'm also a judicial delegate. So as a judicial delegate, you get to have the process of screening the judges that run on your line. Like, because no one is a Republican that wants to run on our line, but I don't get why the Democrat wants to run on our line. I don't see what the heck the advantage is. I don't understand it, and nor do I want to. But on the other level with candidates, as district leaders, or if you're on the executive committee, let's say I'm also the sergeant at arms of the Republican Party. As sergeant at arms, if I was just a sergeant at arms and not a district leader, I would still have a vote. So if you're part of the executive committee, you have a vote, like you're head of a committee, whatever they assign you to, and then you have a vote to screen these candidates. Or if you're a district leader, male and female leaders for each assembly district, same thing with the Democrat Party. You have a vote. So, if your district leader is non-existent, then run for a district leader. Now, of course, it's a lot of annoying work, and it's thankless, and you get paid nothing. You have to run around getting signatures every year, and it's annoying. And then you have to find a candidate in your district to run for assembly, or other candidates for other districts, for other positions. But you have to, if you want to do it that way, you can do it that way. This way you're in the inner circle, like you were saying. But that's how you did get into the inner circle. You have to be in the inner circle through those processes. Question?
Just as a matter of policy principle, I think that each major political party should have its own set of rules on how to choose their candidates.
Right.
Now, we live under a supermajority Democrat rule where what is good for the Democrats is